So what does good look like when it comes to experience bullet points? Most resources out there, show resume templates and maybe they show the end state. But I think it's really important to actually see how that end state got there. So let's go through a few examples where we actually take a bad experience bullet point or an inadequate one and turn it into a killer one. So let's go with the first example. Led IT and separation streams of a company carve out and the integration of the company. Okay. It's not terrible, right? We have an action verb and we do have some things that we've done, but it's not really clear what this person has actually done, right? What do we mean by led IT and separation streams, right? Where is the impact and where are the actual key activities? Well, after working with this individual, we came out with the following: designed and executed X billion-dollar carve out of a business unit from a wealth management group of a leading bank, and led the pre and post deal planning and technical aspects of IT post merger separation phase. Now, really quickly, you might say, hey, where are the thes? Where are the ofs? You can remove articles from your resume bullet points. It's perfectly fair. So that's why it sounds a little bit off, but that is completely intentional. But look at what we've done. Instead of just led, which is an overused verb, you're allowed to use led, but we don't want to do it every single bullet point. We said designed and executed. Then we had a dollar amount, a large dollar amount at that. We then articulate what's really happened, right? Carve out of business unit from. We flag a key industry. Oh, okay, this candidate has wealth management group experience of a leading bank, right? Not just a bank, but a prominent bank. And then we actually lay out exactly the activities, the pre and post deal planning and the technical aspects, right? So now we know that this candidate has, pre and post deal planning experience. They can do the strategic, they can do the management, but they also know the technical, right? So this single bullet point really tells a lot about this candidate. Now, as you might note, there's not quite an impact statement here, and that's okay, right? We assume that this was successful, and there is impact in the sense of there's a lot of money here, right? So this is perfectly fine. How about the next one? Mobilized and led company X digital transformation program. Okay, mobilized, that's a good word. Digital transformation, okay. But still, we're missing a lot of content here. We really want to be calorie dense when we create these. So, what do we have? Well, led and implemented a nationwide X million dollar digital transformation program for a multinational insurer. Developed a business case and financials, designed and set up a multi-year program, and manage and govern agile teams of 50 plus while coordinating with global leadership to ensure alignment with overarching strategy. Wow. Led and implemented, designed and set up, managed and governed, coordinated with. Lots of verbs to show I am actually taking part in some key activities of the business. And then we have the actual content, right? So digital transformation program, right? Creating a business case, right? And financials, right? Agile, right? Overarching strategy, coordinating with global leadership. So all of these things actually really show how strong this candidate can be. They can really put on a lot of different hats. They can lead programs, they can manage teams, they can coordinate with the client and leadership. They can think from a strategic perspective and they know agile. Huge difference between the left-hand side and the right-hand side. Now let's look at this one. Conducted market sizing for expansion of company X's workforce solution. Well, I think you're starting to see a common theme here. There just isn't enough here. I don't really know what's happening here. So what we could do is we could say researched and analyzed 10 plus markets to recommend Optimal market entry targets for expansion of company's workforce management solution. Evaluated markets through quantitative and qualitative factors. Again, look at all of these verbs that show that I'm adding value, right? 10 plus markets, not just market sizing, 10 plus markets. Optimal market entry targets. We evaluated these markets and we did so through quantitative and qualitative factors. This is a much stronger sentence because it really shows what this candidate did. And finally, built workforce platform and launched in London and managed 14 people across all functions. Okay, one, it's a little bit of a run-on sentence, which is ironic given how long the after sentences are. But ultimately, what did this person really do, right? They launched a workforce platform. I don't know quite what that means. They managed some people and what functions, right? There's not enough depth here. So what do we have? Well, we have built a digital venture from scratch with X million dollars in funding to reach X million dollars in valuation within X amount of years. There's your impact statement. Formulated a business plan, orchestrated platform development, trained and led teams, trained and led the sales, marketing, finance, and tech teams, and drove fundraising efforts. The platform was adopted by 3,000 plus clients across private and public sectors. So here you actually have two impact statements. You grew this business from X million dollars to Y million dollars, and you created a successful platform that had lots of clients across two sectors. But in addition to that, we have a lot of trigger words here, right? Built a digital venture, business plan, platform development, etc. And again, we've shown how many hats this person can wear, right? Business plan is strategic, platform development is IT, sales is, well, sales, right? Finance and tech teams is going to be management, right? So again, we've shown how much more this person did than just, well, built a platform and managed people across some functions. We're really fleshing out exactly what happened. Now, all of these bullet points in a resume end up being about 2 lines long, and that is a good length for a experienced bullet point. But can you see how much more dense these are, right? We are calorie packed when it comes to these experiences, and you should strive to do the same with your bullet points. The bullet points on the left are very, very common across candidates, and perhaps at first glance they seem fine, but we don't want fine. We want the best. We want your resume to be the best, and in order to do that, your experience bullet points need to look like the right-hand side and not like the left-hand side.